This is a movie from Venezuela, but it was issued by 33 countries around the world. It only costs 300,000, bringing local movies out of the country. It was remade in South Korea in 2017. He is the house at the end of time. Let's take a look today. What is the story? To be regarded as a favorite by multiple film and television distribution companies. That's right, it is best not to watch this movie on Double 11. The story takes place in 1981. Inside a spooky house, unconscious Lisa is waking up with scars all over her face. The broken mirror in front of me, chaos in the living room, indicates that there has just been a fierce fight in the family. He immediately lit the kerosene lamp to find the figure of his family. Suddenly a scream came from downstairs. He followed the sound and hurried to the dim utility room. But I was horrified to see that my husband had collapsed in a pool of blood, with a sharp weapon inserted into his body. Just as he was lost in grief, the fallen husband suddenly cheated on his body. She grabbed him by the shoulder, and then he stopped breathing. Shocked, he retreated again and again. You can turn around. But found. The eldest son is standing at the cellar door with glazed eyes. Lisa asked her son what had happened, but the son seems to be seriously frightened. No response for half a day. Under his constant comfort, then slowly moved his footsteps, but then a terrifying scene happened. Lisa hurried in. The cold cellar made him tremble. He could only call out his son's name while praying, but at the end, I couldn't find my son. He just disappeared out of thin air. Lisa really doesn't know what's going on. You can only choose to call the police. Strangely enough, the police found no signs of intrusion, but on the weapon that killed her husband, Lisa's fingerprints were found. On the floor of the house, there are also traces of his son's undried blood, ironclad evidence. Lisa, identified as the murderer of her son and husband, he was sent to a cold prison. Until 2011, 30 years later, the elderly Lisa was released from prison, sentence at home. But this familiar and strange house in front of me, but let her hair stand on end. For over 30 years, missing son, still no word. It also inspired her to gather the courage to go in. Soon after, a priest made a surprise visit. She had heard of the case before, but don't believe a mother can poison her own child. He came today. I just want to help him find the truth. But the cellar is dark and dreary. Cold walls everywhere. There are no other exits or channels. This is how my son disappeared inexplicably. Looks like this weird cellar. It was not as simple as he had imagined. Actually, even Lisa doesn't know much about this cellar. Remember, that was 1981. Due to the husband losing his job, Lisa's family lives a life of starvation all day long. Fortunately, they bought the house cheaply from the government. This is a place to shelter from the wind and rain, but they didn't know it at the time. This home is not that simple. Lisa, for such a poor life, always unwilling, rely entirely on two sons. I barely managed to maintain my marriage to my husband, but two innocent sons. But I don't understand my mother's hard work. Not only often get into trouble, and often jealous of my mother's limited love, especially my brother Leo. He always felt that his mother favored his younger brother. The younger brother can sleep in his mother's room, and he can't. Brothers make mistakes at the same time. He is always the one who was taught a lesson. And my mother said, this is because the younger brother is still young. As a brother, you should set an example. Only in the future can we carry the weight of the family. To prove my love, he took off the pearl from the ring and gave it to his brother, and tell him to hold on to him when he's scared. Mom will show up to protect you. Get mother's attention. My brother is very satisfied. He didn't know that his mother's mouth seemed to have been opened. Something scary is about to happen. Lisa went back to the bedroom tired. She began to worry about tomorrow's rations again. But then the husband came home leisurely. The couple started bickering over chicken feathers. Husband really can't stand the depression. Got up and left the house. Lisa is also furious. Locked the door directly. The anger in his heart made him sleepless. Then someone knocked on the door outside. But now her husband has appeared on the street. He thought it was two children. I called my name several times. People outside didn't respond. Just keep twisting the handle. But suddenly it twists and stops. With the click of the key, the door was slowly opened. Lisa cautiously moved forward, but found that there was no one outside the door at all. It must be a prank by two children. Suddenly an old hand reached in, pulled hard in his face. He wants to take the insurance off the door. He panicked and picked up the scissors on the table. Stabbed it hard, although not stabbed, but it also managed to drive away the people outside the door. And the brother who heard the movement also walked out of the room at the moment. He came to his mother's door. I was just about to go in and see my brother's room, and there was a scream. It turns out that my brother also encountered strange things. His door was slowly opened. Through the sheets, he saw a vague figure approaching. The shadow was getting closer and closer to him. The last one ripped off his protection. My brother screamed. My brother heard a scream. He hurried back to his bedroom. Lisa didn't see who it was. I only saw a figure get into my brother's bedroom, so he got up and chased after him. But the door to the room was locked tightly. He anxiously ran downstairs to find a spare key, but the key that was supposed to hang on the wall has disappeared. He realized that his eldest son was in danger. Touched a handy weapon in the kitchen. Go back upstairs again, but found the key hanging on my brother's door. Lisa didn't have time to think about it. He pulled it out and ran to his brother's house. Opened the door and my brother is standing there with eyes wide open. Until Lisa pressed for a long time. He just said it wasn't him who just screamed. Lisa realized that this was a mischief. In a panic, he returned to his brother's room. Fortunately, he was only frightened. But he said he was frightened by his brother. But that's simply not possible. The older brother doesn't have time to enter the younger brother's room at all. Fortunately, the family is all right. Lisa decisively chose to call the police. But the police turned the house upside down. No abnormalities were found. And this thing is so outrageous. The sheriff is also skeptical. So he left his phone number and left. Lisa doesn't know how to prove it. What happened last night was real. But then my brother came to him timidly and said he did see someone last night. And he told him two things. First, don't play with your brother these days. Second, ask him to pass a note to his mother. But about who that person is, the son doesn't talk. And the content on the note, Lisa broke out in a cold sweat, because it says, her husband would kill the eldest son. The husband said angrily that this is nonsense. How could he possibly kill his own son? But true or false? Scared Lisa. I don't want to live in this weird house anymore. Husband strongly opposed, because they didn't have any money. Rent another house. But while they were arguing, the two children had an accident. My brother has long since thrown that warning out of the blue. He still stays with his brother. But I saw my brother give a pearl to the girl. He thought it was his mother's preference for him. I didn't expect my brother to have one as well. While playing baseball, jealousy made my brother feel vengeful. He swung the bat with all his nursing strength. Baseball hits my brother straight. Accidentally hit hard stone. My brother's life came to an end. At the funeral, my brother regretted it all. It turns out that he is not happy to lose his brother. A good friend came up to comfort him, and he did all the gestures that they always do. The meaning is that we will always be brothers. Father holding photo of son heartbroken. But then he discovered his wife's secret. A truth came to him that left him devastated. It turns out that his brother is not his biological son. It was born to Lisa and her ex-husband. Got the news. The long-suppressed Juan realized, this must be the deliberate murder of Lisa and her brother. So I plan to take revenge for my brother. But after all, my brother is also a child raised from a young age. She still can't bear the pain to kill. And then Lisa came. In dispute. She was knocked unconscious. When she wakes up again, husband is dead. Son missing. She was also wrongfully imprisoned. Finding her son is Lisa's only reason to live. She hopes to find out the truth one day, find the missing son, and the secret of her disappearance. It must be hidden here in this house. Lisa is so sure. There's a reason for that. That bizarre break-in. It's always bothered Lisa, but because there is no money to move, she can only hold the mentality of trying. Found the politically famous Lin May. She's blind, but you can see things that ordinary people can't see. To Lisa's surprise, this plum fruit really has two brushes. She not only uttered those two warnings, and Lisa saw an incredibly terrifying scene. This makes Lisa even more certain. There must be something wrong with this house. After learning everything, the pastor launched a difficult investigation. I didn't expect this house to be even stranger than I imagined. A famous British stonemason built this house 100 years ago. I firmly believe that this land holds the ultimate mystery of life. After construction, the mason and his family, they disappeared one after another. And here's what's even weirder. Every 30 years thereafter, people who live in this kind of house will disappear one after another. That's why this house is so cheap. And here's the thing. These people are all on double 11. Disappeared around November 11th. The pastor realized that Lisa is very likely to be in danger next, because tomorrow is January 11th. Sure enough, there has been an abnormality on Lisa's side. He once saw an old man who was late at home. He was also horrified to find, on the mirror in the bedroom, inexplicably, a series of 11 appeared. The pastor who arrived concluded that this time must be the root of everything, because of the Lisa family case. It was on November 10th and 10th, 1981. It happened around 11 p.m. This means that, today or tomorrow, something terrible is going to happen. But it's also the best time to solve the mystery. He handed Lisa a sacred cross. Disaster is blessing. Just watch tonight. Lisa held the cross tightly, staring at the clock in front of him with trembling. The time has also come to 11:11, and the lights went out. Everything at home seems to have changed. And it wasn't just him who was affected. The brother who just lost his younger brother 30 years ago also came out. The same situation. He went out to check, but found that my father had just come home. Went out with a gloomy face again. He wants to go after his father, but the door never opened. He had to go get the spare key on the wall, but suddenly a terrifying figure appeared. The terrified brother could only rush to his mother's room, but after knocking for a long time, my mother didn't open the door. The sound from downstairs is getting closer. In a panic, he could only hide in his brother's room. However, as soon as he entered the door, he froze, and he walks cautiously towards this object, and it was his dead brother. Go back in time a few minutes ago. That terrifying shadow was the old Lisa. He had no idea what was going on in the house. He walked to the bedroom in a trance, but found his bedroom locked. He carefully opened the bedroom door with the key. There are double insurance in it. He mustered up the courage to open the insurance, but he slapped himself 30 years ago. He wanted to see who was inside, but I saw my younger self holding scissors. Lisa was completely baffled. It turned out that that person was me, also an older brother who has not lost his younger brother. I was awakened by the noise outside, walking to my mother's room in a daze, and Lisa took the opportunity to get into his room. My brother just walked to the door. I was scared by my brother's screams, so he ran back to his room, but I saw the old Lisa. Lisa heard that her brother was still alive. Maybe she can save his life, and I wrote that note. Let my brother transfer it to his younger self. When my brother raised his head again, but found Lisa has disappeared. The other side. The brother who lost his younger brother mistakenly believed that his younger brother was not dead. Excited sobbing, he gave the pearls from his mother to his younger brother, and then he disappeared. Instead, the mother rushed in worried. Excited brother. I want to tell my father that my brother is still alive, but he never imagined that his father would actually want to kill him at this time. Lisa rushed out and hurriedly stopped, but was knocked unconscious. The helpless brother can only run away until the cellar door. He has nowhere to run anymore. The father approached him step by step with a sharp knife, finally pointed the tip of the knife at his chest. Though my father was torn, but the long simmering hatred still made him cruel. Elderly Lisa reappears, directly killed the husband. It turned out that he had just returned to his original time and space. But again I met the old man with a sharp blade, and what Lisa didn't expect was, he is actually the older brother from 2071, and he has been trying his best to to find his mother, but always at critical moments, will be transported to another time and space. Looking at my son who is older than me, Lisa, it's unbelievable, the son told her. In fact, it's all about the house. November 11th every 30 years, there will be a staggering of time and space in the house, and the people who were previously missing from this house. In fact, they are still alive. It's just that they live in the future. And he handed me a blade, and that's what killed her husband. Now only Lisa can save her son, and he had a congenital heart condition. At the age of 12, the symptoms began to appear. There was no cure. So, he wishes his mother could take away his young self. Go to 2011 for treatment. Then the son disappeared. Lisa tried to save her son. I had to kill my husband with my own hands, but he hesitated to take his son away because, for his advanced age, and imprisoned at home. How can he take care of his son when he grows up? But if you don't save, my son is going to die soon, under the painful struggle. Finally, he chose to take his son back to 2011, and when the pastor saw his brother, eyes full of tears, and he held out a hand. It turned out that he was a good friend of his brother back then. I've been looking for him all these years. Finally, my brother was taken into the priest's orphanage. Lisa looks at her son as he walks out of the house. Finally a smile. So the movie ends.